Today we're going to be doing an update for Koala. So let's jump over to the Discord. We're going to cover the updates that Sathro here, the developer of Koala, or at least one of the main developers. So they got some pretty big milestones they just passed. They did just reach 3,000 active paying users, which is absolutely huge for any SaaS company. That is a lot of people using your product. And it's not surprising considering how good Koala is. Now, they've been adding stuff like crazy the past few weeks, past couple months, just non-stop updates and improvements. And this is what this is all about. Now, we're going to cover the roadmap to see what's coming up here in a bit after we cover these last few updates. It's been a while since I've talked about Koala, and I wanted to keep on tabs with it because it is my favorite AI writer currently by quite a large margin as well. We'll get into that a little later. We'll be covering the roadmap right after this, and stay to the end because there is a pretty big update that's being done and being dropped tomorrow. I'm going to tell you about that here at the end of the video, so stick around for that. But right now, in the last 6 weeks, he has updated all kinds of stuff, and some of them are pretty huge. Now, they did get into the OpenAI Enterprise Network, which is just basically gives them priority API access and increased limits, so they're not going to get sandbagged anytime soon, basically. Now, this is one of my favorite updates that they did recently. They now create article outlines with GPT-4, even when you're using GPT 3.5, so the cheaper model. So you don't want to waste. The way Koala works is they charge you by word, but they charge you by word based on the GPT 3.5. If you use GPT-4, it's 5 times that. So every 1,000 words you use is 5,000 words on your monthly allotment. So if you don't like that, which a lot of people don't, you can still get the GPT-4 outlines for your articles, which are superior by far, and then use the cheaper AI to finish the outlines. Absolutely huge. I love this update, and they do not charge any extra for that at all. That's a huge one. Another update they just dropped, I think this was about 2 weeks ago. They now have a library section or in a projects feature. You can now sort and organize your articles. So you don't have to look at this really long list, especially if you have multiple projects and multiple websites. And it's going to be a lifesaver for any agency using them. It's going to be amazing. It is the version 1 of it. There are some needed updates with it, like bulk processing. It has none of that. So far, you have to adjust everything article by article, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But the fact that it's in there, it's done now. It's easy to add the little extras. And he does plan on adding those things. It's just not the main focus currently, so it will be further down the line. Next up is they added SERP filtering options for real-time data, and they added Google Scholar integration. So that's going to be giving you real-time data inside of KoalaWriter, and you're going to get as close to fact-check data as possible. Obviously, you still want to fact-check everything. It's not going to be 100% right every time. You should be reading over every article, AI or not. Now, they added in an FAQ section that automatically pulls in people also ask questions and related searches. That's pretty huge, and the big part of it is he actually provides the proper schema when you upload it to your website, your WordPress website. Now, there is a caveat here. You do have to be uploading with a editor or admin user level. If you're not using that, it's not going to upload the schema. So just keep that in mind when you go to set up your WordPress integration. Another big ad that I actually completely forgot to cover. I was planning to. I recorded the video and never posted it, so I'll probably have to do it again. But it's the YouTube video to blog post article type. I did find some bugs with it. Well, not really bugs. It was something they designed into it, but we'll call them limitations. Currently, it works fantastic up to a certain point. I've noticed some serious issues with my videos because my videos tend to run long. I'm very long-winded, unfortunately. So there is about a 10 to 15 minute limit on the videos that it can create articles from. After you get past that context limit, it starts cutting off sections in the video, which for me makes it basically useless, unfortunately. I would love to use this for my videos, especially on the roundup videos, because it's not worth me writing an article for those, but I would like them to be on the website, if that makes sense. Now, there's an improved introduction format, which I agree. Before this update, the introductions were very long. They weren't bad. They were just long, way too long. like 3 paragraphs long. And then he also added key takeaways. So now it's about a 2-paragraph introduction with key takeaways right under that. And I absolutely love it. It looks great. It reads well. And it lets the people that are reading the article come in, know exactly what they're going to see, decide right from there to read on or not. I like it. They also added in a bunch of Koala chat commands. There's a lot of them now, and we're going to cover these in a later video. But they have the /dream, which is the ability to create your own AI images inside of Koala. So you now no longer have to go outside of Koala for basically anything anymore. YouTube summary. I have not used this. I hope it doesn't have the same limitations as YouTube video to blog post as far as the context limits. So we'll be testing that in the future. They added a whole bunch of other ones, but again, we're going to cover that in a future video, so not in this one. If you're not currently targeting US traffic, this is going to be a huge one. They added the ability to add real-time data from other countries outside of the US for AI-powered optimization. Before, it would only pull US data metrics, and it would always be optimized for the US search engines. So that's not the case anymore. You just put in where you're trying to get your customers from or who you're targeting, and it'll optimize it for that instead, which is huge. And if you don't know what the AI-powered SEO optimization is it pulls data from the SERPs, it pulls in LSI keywords, NLP, all that stuff, and it tries to put as much of that into the article as possible, and it actually spits out a very optimized article. Generally, if you use KoalaWriter, it jumps it in there between 60 and 70 out of 100, which is pretty darn good. It gives you the ability to take the article from Koala and post it straight to your website, and it's already optimized. Or, better yet, you can post it straight into KoalaWriter, optimize it a little more, give it that little boost, and then put it on your website, and it just cuts down the time needed by a lot. And they did add in some custom tone of voice. I have not tested that yet. That's pretty good if it works really well. I haven't tested it yet. They added in more English options like Canada, Australia. I believe they already had UK prior to this update. And then they did a couple of other minor updates as well. But for now, let's go check out their roadmap. And as you see, they've already added pretty much all of this. So they've been doing massive amounts of updates, and we're all the way down here. So next up is they're integrating the new GPT model versions and prompts. If you're not up on the latest AI news, a couple weeks ago, OpenAI changed or added a whole bunch of new models, and they're going to get rid of all the old models. And one of those old models that they're getting rid of are actually the ones Koala is currently using. He has to redo all of the prompts for the newer models to get it working right before he releases it. It's a lot of work. So he's got to basically rework all the prompts in the entire setup, which is a lot. Article rewriting is going to be huge. I can't wait for this one. So it's going to make updating articles that are a year old or falling in the SERPs. It's going to make updating those a breeze. You could also use this as a way to outrank stuff on Google. So just give it a URL and it will rewrite that same article, generally just better. At least that's the idea behind it. I hope it works as well as he talks about. We'll see in the future. Ability to enter a URL as a source for article sections. This one is interesting. Let's go ahead and jump back over to Koala real quick. And I actually set up a watermelons one so I can show you what this is. So when you're on the outline, on each H2 here, you have this edit button and an X button if you want to delete it, and then you have the duplicate. So for each H2, you can click the edit button, section name, you can add an extra section prompt for every H2 section. You can put in keywords. If I did the SEO optimized keywords, it would actually have this populated as well. So that's how you add in those. If you want to do it manually, you can. I don't suggest that. The AI optimization works perfectly with Koala, so why mess with it? But if you want certain things to be in a section, you add that here. What the update is he's talking about in here, the ability to enter a source for the article sections, that'll be right down here. So you'll be able to, actually it'll probably be above keywords. So you'll be able to add in a URL, say for me, for example, if I'm doing a roundup for AI article writers, and this section's about KoalaWriter, I can put in a URL to KoalaWriter, and it will be able to pull data, real-time data from that website and add it into the section. That way it just makes a very good article. Or say pricing, if it's a H2 about pricing, put in the URL for the prices of that software. It's huge. I really hope he gets this in there soon. I absolutely love this one. I'm super excited about that one. Another huge one is going to be automatic internal linking. This is going to be absolutely massive. So when you're writing the article, you'll be able to just put in URLs you want to link to, and it'll automatically link to it. So another huge update. Auto-generated meta descriptions for articles. A lot of other AI writers do this already. I would say actually most of them do this already. So this is actually one that Koala's behind on. That being said, meta descriptions are super easy to do. They have Koala Chat, so it takes 2 seconds to do it in Koala Chat. Write a meta description for this keyword. Not hard. Auto-suggested images and videos for articles. This one's going to be huge as well. This is also done by a lot of AI writers now. So this is another one where Koala's kind of behind the curve. It wasn't their focus. Their focus was on writing quality over anything else, and they have mastered that. Adding this will just make them the complete source, in my opinion. Workflow improvements that would allow you to save your settings and outlines. This is another, I'm actually surprised this isn't in there yet. Maybe this is harder than I would think it is. I'm not a programmer or a coder of any type, but I can't imagine it's all that hard to have settings to be saved. And what they mean by this, we'll go ahead and jump back over to KoalaWriter. So what they mean by this is when you go set up your stuff, say you want AI powered, you like the excited, you always want to do second person, real-time search, site sources, outline editor, and then type in your own extra prompt and include key takeaways. So with that added, you would be able to save this and you'd have these options every single time. Because right now, when you refresh it, bam, you're back to 0. You have to re-click all of that stuff. Kind of a pain in the butt. Currently, the way I do it is I either use bulk mode over here, so you don't have to do it, you kind of skip it. Or another way to do it is to write the article, and when it's done, you just hit the back button a couple times, and it'll bring you back here, and it actually saves the options that way. That's the way I do it. This would actually solve that problem. And then you'd also be able to do different settings for different websites and different projects. I think that would be huge. Yeah, that's one I think that should definitely be prioritized. So that's workflow improvements, and I think it's going to be huge when it gets done. So which one of these is going to be the next update that's supposedly being done tomorrow that I was kind of teasing at the beginning of the video? It's actually automatic internal linking, and it's going to be absolutely awesome, I think. So if we go over to off topic here. All right here, today at about 1, which is, by the time this is posted, this will be yesterday at about 1 p.m., he said he is doing the final testing on the auto linking, and it will be maybe released in the morning. So if you're watching this right now, you're just now seeing this, it is July 19th. Definitely go check out Koala. It might be in there. It's supposed to be added somewhere on this KoalaWriter page. You're going to have the ability to enter in 50 URLs on your website that you think might be relevant to the article being written. So if you're talking about chocolate labs, for example, you're writing an article on what chocolate labs can eat, you'd take all your chocolate lab articles, post them in this section, and it will link to whatever is relevant automatically as it's writing the article, which is super awesome. As of now, the only way to do decent interlinking is Link Whisper, really. Everything else is pretty garbage, and even Link Whisper is pretty iffy. So that's going to be a huge one, and that is very possibly coming out tomorrow, or if you're watching this now, it probably just came out. So head over to KoalaWriter. If you don't have a KoalaWriter account, check down the description. Click that link if you can. It is an affiliate link. It is the best article writing software out there. I have zero problem recommending these guys over everyone else. So head over there, check that out. They do have a little free option. You can't write a full article, but you should be able to at least test this out. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.